Tuesday, and today we are repurposing old books. We are going to make them into a little hiding place or a little book safe, or you can make it into a jewelry box. You can decide whatever you want to use with it. It's kind of a fun thing. You will need some kind of sharp knife, either like a box cutter type knife or an X-Acto knife. You will need some glue or some Mod Podge and some wax paper or some parchment paper, and of course an old book. And we are providing the books in the vestibule of the library. You can pick those up Monday through Friday from 9 to 4:30, but remember, you have to be signed up for adult summer reading in order to get pieces of the project. So if you're not signed up, I'm so sad right now because you're missing so much fun. Make sure you sign up. It's super easy online in the library, or give us a call. Super easy. Get signed up, then you won't miss any of the fun. So this is kind of a 3-step project, and this one takes a little patience. Kind of shocking that I decided to do it, huh? So the first thing that you're going to do is take your Mod Podge as I like to call it, or your glue and a foam brush or a paintbrush, and you're just going to take your book and simply paint your glue right along the sides of the pages. Just get that all up in. You don't have to hold it really tight. The first one that I did, I was trying to hold it really tight, and I thought, why am I doing that? Because I want to get the glue into the pages. So you can just kind of, obviously you'll want to hold it closed, otherwise you'll end up with a big giant mess. But you can kind of let them, you don't have to hold it real tight. We'll hold it, we'll press it together when we're ready to let it dry after we get all of the edges nice and gluey. And if you're using Mod Podge, which they do carry at the Dollar Tree now in little bottles, so if you feel like this would be the only project that you would use it for, they do have little tiny bottles that you can buy that should be more than enough to get you through this project. But the thing that I like about the Mod Podge is that it dries clearly, so you don't have to worry a whole lot. I should probably do this over on the wax paper instead of on my counter. That's one of the reasons you have the wax paper, so that you can protect your surface. It works best if you put your project on the surface. So once we have all of our edges just kind of generously, I guess would be the word, generously brushed with Mod Podge, you're now going to take your wax paper that you were supposed to be using to protect your surface, which I did not, and you're going to lay your book down, and I'm not sure that you can see this. Let me turn this around so that you can see this. We're just going to lay our book down flat, and we're going to open it up to the front cover. I'm not sure you can see that. We're going to open it up to the front cover, and then we are going to take our wax paper and just tuck that right there inside before we close the book, so that you've got your paper, so that your paper is closed up inside of your book. And then you're just going to go ahead and put some things down to weight this down, so as it glues, the pages will glue together. And I highly recommend that you put something flat over top of here. Remember, anything that you set on here is going to be heavy, so don't put anything on here that's going to make an indentation in your book cover, okay? I actually used kind of a serving tray and then piled a bunch of stuff on top of it. So we're going to put some heavy stuff on top of this, allow it to dry, and then we'll start cutting. Fun, right? Yay! So once you have painted the edges of your book with your Mod Podge, it will be that you will not be able to move the pages. They'll all be stuck together. And now you have a nice solid foundation to actually start cutting your center out. This one kind of has this little box already drawn, and the other one I made a little bit bigger, and I thought, well, that might be fun to have a smaller hiding place. So it's already drawn for me, so I don't have to draw one. You can always take a ruler and just kind of mark your square or your rectangle however you want to do it. But we're just going to take our X-Acto knife or our box cutter, whichever one you have, and you're just going to press down, try and follow along the lines as neatly and as accurately as you can. You're going to want to push down kind of hard. We're just going to go right along those lines until we get our little rectangle cut out. And then once we get our rectangle cut out, we will simply pull that out and very neatly cut the corners. I did run into some problems with my other book. I think the pages were a little thinner and I was trying to do too much at one time, and so the corners really started to build up and get kind of junky or yucky. And I can kind of show you that even though it's still drying, our corners got kind of funky. Again, I don't know if it's because the pages were very thin or if I just tried to get too many out at one time, but that's okay because I'll just cover that with fabric and it will be fine. So again, we're going to just go back to that same square that's already there. We're going to run our X-Acto knife right along that edge again. Just following that same guideline that we've kind of now got a little stencil almost from our top couple of sheets. And then again, we're just going to peel those couple sheets off. So as you can see, it's kind of a time-consuming process. You have to be patient, which is probably why this project frustrated me a little bit, because it does take patience, but it ends up being a really cool project when you're done. Like I said, this one over here, I'm gonna cover in some fabric. I may take a little longer on this one, keep coming back to it so that I can get farther down. When you do cut, you're only going to want to cut down no more than 3/4 of the way. You don't want to go all the way to the back of the book. About 3/4 of the way so that you still have some support and some binding there. And one of the other fun things that you can do if you want to make it kind of more of a secret stash type of thing is when you first glue your pages, go ahead and glue and leave the book open. Glue just one edge, leave a few extra pages. Then you can go ahead and go back and glue these separately, clip them together, and then when you open up the book, you'll still have pages, but it'll be a separate thing. So there's just some thoughts, different ways to change it up. So once you've removed the amount of pages that you want to, you've got the depth that you have desired, or you just got sick of cutting the pages out. You'll have an opening kind of like this. And you can see mine got pretty rough in the corners. I'm not sure whether it was because it was thin pages or whether I just kept getting antsy and trying to take a lot off at one time instead of being patient and just a couple pieces at a time. Now here's where you have a couple of really super fun options. And when I first started working on this, I thought, gee, wouldn't this be fun to take maybe a kid's book and put little cool things in here, little toys or something for my grandbabies. Or you could line this with some felt or something and use it as like a jewelry box. Make a nice gift box for somebody. So if you decide that you want to line it with fabric, this next step is really not that important because you'll glue anyway, but you're going to take your Mod Podge again and you're just going to do kind of the same thing that we did with the outside edges. We're just going to brush our Mod Podge along the sides just to kind of seal up that paper so that as we take things in and out of our box, we're not, catching those individual pages and kind of undoing all of our hard work by ripping them or displacing them. And I would also recommend, if again your pages are kind of thin like mine were and they're kind of crumbly, that you pour your Mod Podge into a separate container, which you should probably always do anyway, but I'm just, sometimes I like shortcuts. But that'll help you to keep from getting paper scraps in your Mod Podge. And then once you have that just all kind of brushed up again, you're going to let it dry, and then it is ready to store your goodies in or line with fabric if you wish to. And just to make sure, if you want to, you could put another piece of wax paper in there and weight it down. So that is our book safe project. I hope you enjoyed your Trash to Treasure Tuesday project. Make sure that if you need a book, you can pick that up in the vestibule this week, every day, Monday through Friday, from 9 to 4:30. And we do that every week, but it's only if you're signed up for the Adult Summer Reading Program, so make sure you're signed up. Super easy. So hopefully you will tune in tomorrow for Out and About with AJ. There's Theater Thursday on Thursday, Family Fun Night on Friday, and then join us back again on Monday for the Monday menu so you know what kind of fun we're having next week. Have a good week.